Robert Kiyosaki, the legendary author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, is famous for his no-nonsense approach to building wealth. He's controversial, unapologetic, and his advice has inspired millions to rethink everything about money. In this video, we'll break down key principles from Kiyosaki that, if applied, could transform your financial life in just 6 months. Section 1. Stop saying, "I can't afford it." Robert Kiyosaki has a powerful mantra. Poor people say, "I can't afford it." Rich people say, "How can I afford it?" This mindset shift is crucial because the moment you say, "I can't afford it," your brain shuts down. You stop thinking creatively, you stop problem solving. But when you ask, "How can I afford it?" you activate your mind to search for opportunities. Think about it. If you have someone who thinks they are poor financially, they will always say they can't afford something and believe they can't afford it. Instead of looking at ways to enable them to afford it, don't let that go over your head. Start asking yourself, how can I generate an extra $500 this month? It could be freelancing, selling unused items, or learning a new skill. Whatever you decide, the key is to focus on solutions, not limitations. Section 2. Assets versus liabilities. It's not what you think. Kiyosaki's most famous lesson: the rich buy assets, the poor and middle class buy liabilities, but the mood and middle class think they're assets. Also, the quick disclaimer: when Robert talks about poor and middle class, he is referring to working class citizens who get taxed in large amounts. Here's the truth: your car, your latest iPhone, even your house might actually be a liability because they take money out of your pocket instead of putting money in. Think about this. Is the home you live in really an investment, or is it draining you with mortgage payments, repairs, and taxes? Kiyosaki emphasizes investing in income-generating assets like rental properties, businesses, or even dividend stocks. Don't just listen to this, then go on Instagram or TikTok. Practically try and read up on something beneficial that will help you 10 years down the line. Start now. A practical tip is to make a list of everything you own. Categorize each item as either an asset or a liability. Then focus on building the assets column, one small step at a time. If you say, "Nay, that's long," then maybe you are complacent and will be poor or working for a boss for the rest of your life. Section 3. School won't make you rich. One of Kiyosaki's most controversial takes is this: the education system was designed to produce employees, not entrepreneurs. He believes traditional schooling teaches you to work for money, but not how to make money work for you. On top of this, you get rewarded for being an A-star student or a good student. Equivocally, in your job, you get Employee of the Month and other incentives. Think about it. How many hours did you spend in school learning about taxes, investing, how to buy a house or rent a house, or building wealth? Probably zero or close to zero. And even if you did learn it, it was likely extracurricular that you chose to do. Kiyosaki argues that self-education in financial literacy is far more valuable than a traditional degree when it comes to achieving financial freedom. Commit to reading at least one financial book a month. Start with Rich Dad, Poor Dad. That is like the wealth creation starter pack. Then dive into books like The Millionaire Fast Lane or Think and Grow Rich. Knowledge compounds just like money. Section 4. The rich don't work for money. Here's a statement from Kiyosaki that shocks people. The rich don't work for money. Instead, they make money work for them. This means they focus on building passive income streams through investments, businesses, and systems. Contrast this with the average person who trades time for money, relying on a 9-to-5 job. The problem: if you stop working, the money stops flowing. But the rich set up income sources that keep paying them even when they're sleeping. A big point here is that rich people solve a problem for people. A lot of poor people are simply consumers. If you can't shift your mindset to problem solver, money will never come in. On top of this, listen carefully because I'm only going to say this once. Rich people only start side businesses or ventures they can scale, meaning they will never pick up a side business and be the sole worker. For example, a delivery driver would be an example of a side business that you always have to be present at, because if you don't come to work, your boss isn't paying you. Instead, rich people will talk to a delivery or logistics company and hire multiple drivers and continue to hire more. That's the difference. I advise you to go back and listen to what I just said. If you take anything from this video, you should take that. Start small. Use your next paycheck to invest in an index fund, a small side hustle, or even a high interest savings account. Build streams of income, one at a time. Section 5. Debt isn't always bad. Most people fear debt, but Kiyosaki teaches this. There's good debt and bad debt. Bad debt makes you poorer. Credit cards, payday loans, or financing a lifestyle you can't afford. But good debt, that's the kind you use to acquire income-producing assets. Think of a property investor who takes on a mortgage to buy a rental property. The rental income covers the mortgage and the property appreciates in value over time. That's how the rich use debt to get ahead. If you are in a hub like London, Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Texas, New York, California, Florida, or Paris, the appreciation skyrockets even faster. Evaluate your current debt. Ask yourself, is this debt helping me grow wealth or is it holding me back? If it's bad debt, create a plan to pay it off quickly. If it's good debt, make sure it's working for you. Section 6. The power of mentorship. Kiyosaki often talks about the influence of his rich dad, the mentor who taught him how to think about money. He says, if you want to be rich, you need to surround yourself with people who are smarter than you. Success leaves clues. Instead of taking advice from friends or family who are struggling financially, seek out people who are already where you want to be. Read their books, watch their interviews, and if possible, learn from them directly. Identify one person you admire financially and study their habits. What can you implement in your own life today? Robert Kiyosaki doesn't sugarcoat it. Building wealth requires a mindset shift, hard work, and learning to see money differently. But the good news, if you follow these principles, you could completely transform your financial future in just 6 months. So which of these lessons will you apply first? Let me know in the comments. Have you ever wondered how the rich stay rich but look so poor? Or why rich people wear plain black t-shirts and jeans? Well, click here to see my video on why looking poor is so important. I explain all of the secrets.